Hello, my name is Mark Baker from... Sorry. Ear protection. We'll come to that a little bit later on. My name's Mark. Mark Baker. I'm formerly of Burn the Negative, electro band, and now I'm fronting new project, We Take Polaroids. I probably got tinnitus probably way back about 2002, 2003, a little bit too much DJing I suppose, terrible monitors, really bad ear, headphones, no ear protection, and it kind of got worse over a course of 2-3 years. I was like most people, I'd get up the next morning and it'd be buzzing, and one morning I noticed it still hadn't gone, and that was a number of weeks after a particular gig that I'd been to see. And it carried on like that really. It got to the point where I noticed it in relatively quiet areas, not just in bed. What does it sound like? It's an incessant pin-like high frequency fizz to me, and I know through research that it sounds different to other people's. I've read that some people get horrendous bassy noises and vibrations in their ears, which I do believe sometimes I get. I think that's normally when I'm a little bit more stressed. I can actually change the tone and the level of how loud it is just by biting. If I really crunch down, I can feel it, I can hear it change tone, which is really weird. But if you're bored, obviously it's quite good fun. I think the thing about the condition is that it makes me feel very anxious when it becomes apparent, because it's there all the time, but there's only certain times when I really notice it. But if I'm really stressed, that is really noticeable, as I mentioned before. And I think if I've got a really bad cold, it's almost amplified, and I notice that a lot more. But the way that I kind of deal with these things is I'll either try and concentrate on background noise, or something that else is maybe either going on in the room, or say for example if I'm in bed, if it's noisy outside, the wind and rain, I can really concentrate on that and avoid what's going on in here. And I think probably the best thing to overcome it for me on a long-term basis is probably like a low-level music. I hear about people using certain tones or the sounds of the sea crashing on on whatever sound system they may have in the bedroom, but I think that would just drive me mental. Just a little bit of light music in the background can detract me from it. It really does depend on how stressed I am, or if I've got a really bad head cold though. Sometimes I can forget about it and it's fine. I certainly can live with it on a day-to-day basis. My overall thought is I genuinely could not live with it if it got worse. I don't know what I would do if it got worse. I believe it's livable. I can handle it. But I am aware of people out there that genuinely can't and have a real problem with it on a day-to-day basis, which must be dreadful. Yeah, I visited my GP about it on a number of occasions, and in fairness, the answers were always quite vague. Nothing was really said. No real method on how to avoid it. I suppose maybe they thought, well, once I've got it, I've got it. I'm not too sure, but there was no real how I can deal with it on a day-to-day basis, nothing like that. It wasn't really until I was at a gig with Eddie Temple Morris, and he was putting in these lovely little opaque earplugs, and I thought they look cool. I said, what are those? And he told me that these were a hearing protection, good old fashioned earplugs, but not just like a piece of thick foam that you stuck in and it deadened everything. These were real bespoke, moulded to the ear earplugs, which blocked out certain frequencies of the more damaging bottom end and mid and top end frequencies, and of course there's different levels which suit yourself. I have them, in fact I have one here, which was made by Harley Street Hearing, if I remember correctly, which was fitted for me actually on a club night in a club in Shoreditch, and they were moulded into the ear, and I got them about a week later, and I've worn them ever since. I really would recommend to anybody, even if you have a slight amount of tinnitus in there, these are the sort of things that are going to stop it going to another level. And if your music's really worth anything to you, and you do something on a professional level, musically, audibly, these really are what you need.